Jackie Birch calls Lee. They're very good friends. And she says, Lee, I'm casting for this part, for this guy to play like a limo driver. And he's on this like CB radio or something. And, you know, I'm just preparing for it. And Lee goes, oh, darling, I've got him. Even back then, Lee was like that. You know, he goes, oh, I've got him. She goes, what do you mean you got him? She goes, Devorier White. She goes, oh, yes. She goes, I got him already. And she goes, you don't even need to read with him. And she goes, I know exactly who he is. She goes, okay, so Joel and Bruce saw the movie, so I'll send him straight to Joel and Bruce if I can. And they did. And I walked in and I read with them. And before 5 o'clock, I was booked.
That's awesome. Bruce Willis really wasn't he definitely wasn't the household name that he is now, but really then he just had like Moonlighting and maybe a few other TV projects under his belt. So when you went into that meeting, were you familiar with Bruce Willis at all?
Moonlighting, you know, I just remember, yeah, Joel, I knew he was a big producer. And real quickly, just a short one. I remember when I got booked, I went to the wardrobe department and they put this suit on me and it wasn't very comfortable, guys. It was like under here, it was tight and everything. And the shoes were hideous and they were clunky. And the wardrobe person, I said, this is what I'm wearing? And he goes, yeah, hurry up. He goes, hurry up. We got to get to Joe. Okay. So we go to Joel's office and I remember it was like deco plush, like wine colored velvet deco and like Frank Lloyd Wright stuff. And the few people were sitting outside his office and they were like this and they looked nervous. And I was like, wow. And then I hear Joel come out and he goes, tell those fuckers to hurry up, and slams the door. And so I go in and I had read for him. This is when I had an official discussion conversation with him. And I walk in with the wardrobe guy and Joel goes, how you doing? And I go, I'm good. And he goes, so how do you like your wardrobe? And I said, it's hideous. And I said, these shoes are ridiculous, to be quite frank with you. And he smiled and he looked at the wardrobe person, looked shocked. And he looked at the wardrobe person and he goes, go get him when he wants.
Honesty's the best policy.
That was my little story. I always have these little stories, you guys.
No, these are good nuggets, man. No, you're good, man. Trust me, you're giving us, we'll get to it later, but trust me, you're giving us way more than the movies that made us gave you. So we appreciate this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we definitely appreciate this. Now,
there is something to be said about your crossroads with Black and behind music icons. Now, first, you're trying to steal from Ray Charles and Blues Brothers. Now, you're helping yourself to drinks from the limo bar while taking in a Stevie Wonder cassette. Would you like to comment?
It was Run DMC.
Told you.
Excuse me. It was Run. That's
a lead. He wrote this, but I knew what it was.
Oh, yeah? No, that was the trick.
No, it was not it. The trick was earlier.
That's how Lee talks, you guys. He goes, excuse me. Fuck you.
With all due respect, you asshole.
So continue. I'm waiting. Continue.
Please. There you go.
Your filming schedule with Die Hard was spread out over a 3-month period. During that time, were you given like restrictions or anything regarding altering your appearance?
No, they didn't put specifics on it.
Okay.
I just stayed the same way like I am now. I just have glasses. And just because they're Gucci doesn't mean I can see any fucking better.
There we go. And that's the trailer. That's the commercial right there. You didn't have any Gucci sponsorships coming up, did you? Because
We're dropping Gucci,
No,
Red
I
Bull.
just no, there were no restrictions. You know, I
Awesome.
come in. I mean, the only thing, you know, then they had pagers, and so I remember that I was on call, and they gave me a pager. I remember one night I was at the baddest club in town called Vertigo downtown, and I was just rocking. You saw Robert De Niro like by himself over there in the back. You see Bridget, Sylvester Stallone's ex-wife, the redhead.
Brigitte Nielsen. Brigitte Nielsen.
Yes, you see her walking in. And you see everybody, you know, running around. And so I was dancing. I was having the time of my life. And that damn pager went off, and I went with my friends. I went, shit. So I go to the phone, and then I call, and he goes, Mr. Wright, we need you in within the hour, okay? And I said, yes, I'll be there. So I left, and thank God I wasn't drunk. No, I you know, that's the only kind of stuff I did over that period. It was fun.
You could have pulled off if you were drunk. I mean, Argyle was sipping the wine coolers in the limo for most of the movie.
He was having the time of his life back there. Now, one thing that I did actually read here, now this is according to IMDb, who's only right 65% of the time here. They had a couple of people try to do it who weren't really trained actors try to punch a co-star. So we read that you actually did punch your co-star, Clarence Gilliard, a little black on black crime. Wonder how they figured that out. Who played Theo during the escape attempt scene. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so I share with you guys that I don't speak unkind, unimportant, or unnecessary about anyone.
Mhm.
I will just say I was younger. I will say we had artistic differences, and as a method actor, you got to make it look motherfucking real.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Clarence is so
Boom! Because I had a military guy. This guy I met like a month ago, and I walked in somewhere, and he goes, "You look like that guy in Die Hard." And I said, "Yeah, I'm very cool about it. You know, I go, "Yes." And I go, "I'm honored. Thank you." And he goes, "Okay, so my dad is military and I'm military." And that punch scene, we can pretty much tell, you know, because we do combat and stuff. He goes, "That looked like you hit him. My dad said you hit him." I said, "I did."
That's my dad said.
That is wild, man. Method actor, man. Hey,
Yeah.
it came across, man. It definitely came across.
Look at my face. Look at my face. Uh-huh.
Hey, I did. I just shake your shit.
Oh, that is fantastic.
You guys are bad. You
Yes,
guys
we
are
are.
bad.
Hey.
Bad men.
Yes, thank you. Not bad man.
Well,
Yes.
hold on. It's only going to get a little bit worse.
Now remember about the stunt and hitting him. When we just did the commercial, the newer commercial, the Die Hard commercial, I saw him, and no ego. Back then, I did stuff that was pretty kind of ego based. Today, I'm a different person. I'm not that man that I was. Like I shared with you, and I'll tell you what happened when I learned how to act. I was just like, get this film done, throw some energy. Places in the Heart, they had a coach for me to teach me how to be drunk. They flew her in from New York, Sandy. So I was on my way to really learn how to get the gist of acting. So with him, when we did the commercial, I saw him on the where we were having lunch and stuff. And I walked up and I said, "How you doing?" And he goes, "Oh, so good," in front of everybody. "Oh, so good to see you. We're so happy to have you." I went, I'm just
Still a bit of a little artistic difference going on there.
No, we were cool though. We were cool. You know, we were like, I was speaking because that's how I am. You know, miss me with the bullshit. You know,
Right.
I'm here to get along with people, and you know, what you exhibit pretty much dictates what you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that, you know, Hollywood is so, you know, it's so like, if this isn't, today I think with my heart, I've learned how to. And I choose my battles very carefully, which are rare. And I'm very respectful. You know, nothing's problematic. If I have an issue with someone, back then I would cuss you out. I would cuss you out. I remember I was sitting, because Wesley Snipes and Eddie and Lawrence Fishburne, they're like uncles to me. And I remember we were at Club Roxbury one night, and I was sitting here, and I said, because the mother thing, and I was like, I'm not happy. I hate this. Eddie's loud. The other two, Lawrence Fishburne's like, Larry's like, just chill. It's going to be okay. I was on my third Long Island iced tea, by the way. And, you know, and Wesley's like, just be cool. Just going to be all right. Eddie goes, you what? And I said, Eddie, I hate it. I'm not happy. He stood up in the club. We were in VIP at a table. He stood up. He goes, have you lost your motherfucking mind? He goes, you're about to be the next me. What the fuck is wrong with you? And I fell off the chair. And I got up. I had been drinking. I got up and I said, fuck you guys. I'm going to make more money than all you put together. Fuck you. And walked off. We got off topic. I have my stories.
No, we're not off topic here. We are.
What did Beth Grant say? Ego is not your amigo.
Ego is not your amigo.
When you find yourself telling Lawrence Fishburne and Eddie Murphy,
hey, Morpheus, Professor Klump, and you little Nino Brown.
They're like uncles to me, man. Danny, oh my God, they're like, dude, Danny. I mean, they're like, I look up to those guys.
Right.
I know you said that, and I totally respect that, like not talking down about anybody. So feel free to, we can pass this next question if you want, but I am going to ask, you with working with Bruce Willis, there are stories circulating, mostly from Kevin Smith, who worked with him on Cop Out, of just not being the most enjoyable person to work with. And if you're comfortable speaking about your experience with that, with working with Bruce Willis, if maybe you can confirm that, or if you had a completely different experience. And you guys improv a lot of your lines together too, right?
Yes. Okay. So first of all, someone's experience with someone is none of my business. With him, we were cool. You know, if you kind of get the gist of Bruce, then you understand him more. For instance, when we did the commercial.
Argyle?
I'm on the set. I didn't even see him. I was talking to somebody else. And he tapped me and he goes, Argyle. I turned around and went, where in the fuck have you been? I could have been dead by now. His eyes opened, and then I just looked at him, and then it takes a lot to make him like laugh. And I just keep it real. And I said that, and he went, he bit you. And I hugged him, and then, you know, so it was cool. It was cool. I'd like to share something with you, if I may, about that has to do with my experience with that film. That's pivotal, if I may. Yes?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
John McTiernan. Now, I told you I didn't really learn how to act. It was always like this. I learned how to act when I did Die Hard. The first day of rehearsal, John McTiernan goes, okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to do the scene when you guys are in the limo and I'm being nosy with Bruce. I keep prying and prying. He goes, we're going to do that, okay? And I said, yeah, okay. So he goes, action. I go, so you're a New York cop and you move here, back here to get together with your wife and you have one bag, so why bother to pack? And John's eyes kind of go like how that agent did when I read like that. He goes, come here for a second. I said, yes. He goes, did you read the entire script? I went,
What the fuck is going on?
I see you. I said, not really, not really. He goes, do you understand the chemistry of what you're saying to him? He goes, okay. And he gave me this glare. He looked at me, he goes, all right, listen. In his head, he was like, probably like, how the fuck did they hire him? Anyway, he's like, okay, look, listen very carefully. He's a New York cop and he wants desperately to get back together with his wife. And so he's bringing one bag with him on the hopes of getting back together with her so they can be happily ever after. Do you understand? Okay. And it like did something. It shook me because I was like, I'm with these people. And look, those people, I'm just kidding. I'm with these people around me, the set and everything. And they heard him holler at me. And so my heart was going like this. And they said, action. I said, oh, so you're a New York cop and you came back here on the hopes of getting back together with your wife and you brought one bag. So why bother to pack, right? That was the scene. That's when I learned how to act.
Like I said, you're very fast, Argyle.
It's evident in Die Hard too that like John McTiernan prioritizing the full picture of every character. That's something that makes Die Hard like it transcends other action movies, especially around that time, to put so much emphasis on the character arcs of and making sure that even supporting characters were understanding how everything would come together, and you could see it in the movie.
You can.
There's payoffs,
especially in, like you said, from all the research we've done, almost every person, or should I say, everything we've read, sources that a lot of these lines were improvised. I want to ask you, when you and Bruce were improvising, is there one particular line that you're proud of, or one that you can remember to say, man, that wasn't going to be in the film at all, but people always quote it, or it's one that you personally love? Anything you can think of?
John was like, you guys just have fun with it, improvise. So there's something that I said to him and they pulled it out. I mean, they edited. He goes, he's like, so your wife, yeah, I said, so your wife, you're in the hopes of getting back together with your wife, so why bother to pack? And then he goes, you sure do ask a lot of questions. I said, she beat you up. And I think I said, you let your bitch beat you up. That's what it was.
When keeping it real goes wrong. But it's perfect. That was a perfect line. You let your bitch beat you up.
I said, she beat you up.
I just see that.
So
yeah,
that stuff like that, that's what we got to do. And I just learned, dude, with acting, just to take your time and deliver.
Hey, come on, you divorced? You separated? She beat you up?
and understand your objective in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned it. And after that, I took some acting classes. However, I ended up getting the best coach, Catelyn Adams, dude. Robert De Niro calls her like 2 a.m. You know, she's amazing. So I learned how to act and stuff. However, it was just a time after this stuff that I just really needed to find DeVourier.
Mm-hmm.
I needed that. I needed to process, you know, my mom, and I needed the father leaving early. And are we still on topic?
Oh no, you're on topic. Please go.
Okay. The father leaving. I needed to, some people say soul search. You know, I needed to do some day search, you know, DeVourier searching. And I just needed to get closure on some things and really learn how to have gratitude and appreciate the gifts that have been bestowed upon me, go beyond an actor. You know, some say I have this gift of giving people hope. And in the work that I do, you know, I tell these young ones that are on drugs and this fentanyl stuff and everything that's happening is, I'm like, look, you know, I straight up with them. You know, they get a little arrogant and stuff. Their parents drop them off with the American Express Black card and say, you take them. And, you know, we sit down and, you know, one kid one day a while ago, he came out of the group and he's like, this is for the parents, by the way. He came out of the group and he's like, fuck you, Mom. All I wanted was a fucking carton of cigarettes. You can't even send that. That's fucked up. And I saw him, and I was working at this very high-end treatment facility in Newport Beach. I saw him, and I said, come here. And the other clients were like, oh, he said it in front of Day. He said it in front of Day. He goes, Day, I'm sorry. I said, no. Just bring your sorry ass over here. He comes over.
Day, I'm sorry. I know. Look, come over here.
He goes, Day,
We'll get to
Day.
that.
He goes, Day. I said, no. He goes, what's that? He goes, what? I said, what? I did. Like in that Chris
Tucker.
The artist, the singing artist, Chris Brown.
Oh, right. Oh, Brown. Here we go.
When he goes in the shoe store and his job and he gets fired, remember? And he goes, I didn't mean. He goes, I didn't mean. He goes, I didn't mean to be late. You're always late. So anyway, I said to this kid, I said, how old are you? He says, I'm 23. I said, first of all, you should be buying your own motherfucking cigarettes. 2, how many treatment facilities have you been in? 5, Day. 5. So your mother created you. And she's paid for 5 treatment centers for you, insurance or whatever. She took the time to do it. See, I do this because I don't have a mom. I lost my mom. And so I'll let you have it when you disrespect your mom. This is what I've learned. That's what I'm telling you. And I said, so your parents put you here. They have a life too, dude. The parents have a life too. All the phone calls. That's why I said you're sorry ass. All the phone calls. Mom, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can I have $20? I'm sorry. Can you get me into rehab? Waking them up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Them picking you up from jail. All the lies you told and manipulated. And the least you can do is say, thank you, Mom, so much. And be sincere about it. And and I qualify because I don't have a mother. And you have the audacity to be on the phone and talk to your mother like that. I said, you lost your motherfucking mind. When you find it, you come give me a call.
Hey, you know the number. Use it. Argyle. Yeah.
I want to go back to that line that you improvised because it's I want to appreciate that line because it is so that
it's so cool that line was that you came up with that on the spot. Because that line so early on in the movie, it's instrumental in establishing John McClane as the opposite of what we've become accustomed to with action heroes. Like John McClane, what made him so special is his vulnerability, his weakness, the fact that he gets his ass kicked more than he kicks ass, but he's relentless about it. Most action heroes were just like alpha male macho men. Like John McClane cries on the screen. So for you to improvise a line like that so early on in the film is like I think it served the bigger picture of John McClane's character of how he's not going to be your stereotypical leading man in an action
His
movie.
wife left him. She changed her name back to her maiden name. He can't see his kids. He has one bag. He's been demasculated before he's been castrated before the movie starts. And if your line, hey, to sum up what he's saying, I think like when we always talk about character development, your brief time with him at the beginning sets us down the course for what type of man that he is at the beginning of the film. So it's a pivotal role is what it is.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You've touched on this a few times, the Die Hard battery commercial. But I wanted to go back to that for a second because it kind of came out of nowhere. It was just really cool. Like the people reuniting, reprising their characters. For essentially, I don't even like to call it a commercial. It was like a short film. What was that like getting back into that world after decades?
Hey, that's my line.
People were sending things, and this one came in to my management, and Greg calls me, and he goes, Dave, I've read this. And they're very interested in you for this thing. And I said, what is it? And he goes, it's a commercial. Bruce is on board, and it's Die Hard, and it's for Advanced Auto Parts. And I said, okay, so be more specific. And he goes, I know who the advertising company is for this, and this is legit. He goes, they want you, however, they have stated that if they are unable to hire you, they will do their best to find someone that looks like you, however, they want the original Argyle. And I said, okay, so what? He goes, you think you might want to do it? I said, what do you honestly think? And he goes, this is your time. He goes, to rekindle. He goes, you're a different person now. You're spiritual now. You're happy now. And I said, he goes, you're not sad. And I said, wise investments my grandmother did. So, he said, yeah, this is legit. So you guys, when you get booked on a job in Hollywood, I don't ever talk about money. However, this is a point needs to be made. Okay, at Screen Actors Guild, I think the lowest scale, I think, is $2,500 a day or $3,000 a day or something like that. Before you get your quote, per se. When you start working, you get your quote goes higher and higher. And so there was no negotiation needed. They just came in and went, boom. We really want you to do this. It was such a beautiful, not only did it raise my quote, now, and shit's happening. It was just like, it was so good that Greg needed to hire Loeb and Loeb lawyers. These guys charge like $800, $1,000 an hour to do this deal. And the way that the contract was done, it was so beautifully orchestrated and executed.
You've said it yourself how much you've grown and changed as a person since you were Argyle the last time. So to step back into shoes that you filled decades earlier with so much evolution in yourself as a person between that time and now, just what that felt like for you internally to kind of go back to that place from a completely different perspective, having everything that you know in hindsight.
It had been a while. However, I kind of I'm coming at it from a different angle now. First of all, it wasn't like I'm just going to walk in and just read it. I'd already done it. And you know what was funny? What was hilarious? Because it was COVID. So Bruce needed to do his separately for me because you couldn't sit next to each other. So he did his and I did mine. It was so hilarious because we were filming and in the movie I went,
this is their idea of Christmas.
I got to be there for New Year's. And we were doing it and the director, he was awesome. I said, he wanted me to say, if this is Christmas, I got to be there for New Year's are the lines. And I started going, if this is Christmas, I have to be there for New Year's. He goes, no, Dave, we need you to say, I got to be there for New Year's. I got to be. I said, oh, fine, no problem. Action. If this is Christmas, I have to be there for New Year's. Like 4 times. And before, when I didn't take acting seriously, you guys, I would get nervous. So I had to get it right on the first take all the time. Perfectionist in that area. When I was doing those jobs, I had to get it like 1 or 2 and then do the close-up because I would get nervous. That panic thing would jump in and I didn't know it then, the mother thing. And so it was just funny. On this time though, it was hilarious. I did it like 4 times and didn't say it. And then I finally got it right, got to be there for New Year's. And I said, shit, I co-starred in the original and can't even remember the fucking line.
Oh my goodness. That is a story for the ages on that. Now what I was going to ask you, we're coming down towards these last few here.
I was going to ask you, I mean, 2014, you played an Uber driver in the very funny show Workaholics. And there was some great diehard nods and Easter eggs offered up. What was the Workaholics set like? And did you find a sense of flattery in that kind of innocently parroting Argyle?
It was funny because they asked me to do it. And so we were like, okay. And they sent the script. And it was they did it kind of unethical, which was cool. They just said, we're interested and we'd like you to do our show. And so I said, okay. So they delivered the script. I was living in Newport at the time. They delivered the script and it came. And so I was working with a few clients, that were in a treatment facility. And he came to my office there and I opened it. And one of the guys in there, he's doing great now, by the way. Better be. I was talking him in the eye. It came the script. And when it said Workaholics, you guys, I thought it was something like, you've worked in entertainment and what are you doing now?
Quite the opposite.
So, I opened it, you guys. Look at you. I opened it. And the key was right there. And I said, DJ, some people asked me to do Workaholics. I thought it was like a show. He goes, Workaholics. And I said, yeah, dude. He goes, that's my favorite show. That's my favorite show. I said, what are you talking about? He goes, they smoke pot and everything, Dave. And I said, you don't smoke pot today. So why are you interested in that? Well, it's just a good show. I said, okay. So to answer your question, went up to Glendale, LA to do it. They were cool. the director, one of the actors also directs.
Noah Check.
Yes, he was really nice. He was nice. They were all nice. What was funny was that vaping had started, and I was partnership with a vape store down here in Newport on the peninsula, because everybody was going from smoking cigarettes in Newport Beach. It's like, we've had it, and so I opened this vape store with this guy. And so I had a vape with me. And so I'm on the set, and he just kept smoking. He was chain smoking. And I was like, dude, you may want to, try one of these, a vape. I am partners with a store in Newport. He goes, oh, no, bro, because if I smoke weed, it throws me off when I'm directing. I said, oh, it's not weed, it's juice without the carcinogens and poisons the cigarettes have in it. And he goes, oh, really? And I said, yeah, there's no poison. I mean, it's nicotine or the other stuff, And he goes, no, dude, I'm cool. That was just like a funny moment. It was cool. It was a job. It was a job. I was happy to do it. They had me up late, though. They had me up late. Imagine. And the commercial, too. I didn't get out of there until the sun was rising on the set. I remember the director on the commercial, you guys were talking about that. They got me a nice hotel and everything, and it was 45 minutes from the set. However, they were director's it was the sun was just beginning to come up in the commercial when Bruce is dragging me to save me, and I'm holding the battery. He goes, yeah, Dave. He goes, don't you want to get out of here? Don't you want to go home and go to sleep? I go, no, I'm on my fourth Red Bull, and you guys gave it to me. I'm having a blast. It was fun. It's all fun. It's all fun if you're focused. Yeah, you mentioned about the commercial and what was different. I say it, people don't agree with me. I was fat. Is how I look at it. People go, no, you weren't. I was 181. You guys, I'm used to all my life being 110 pounds. And so I was 181. I've lost a lot of that. I was 181 pounds. And so I was sort of self-conscious because, I was bigger. And however, that's the only thing. You asked me the differentiation between, that was the only thing. I was a little self-conscious, about that. However, they said I was fine. I even asked wardrobe. I said, don't you guys have a girdle? And they were like, we can give you that. However, they're so uncomfortable, sir. They're so uncomfortable. I was like, okay. It was messing with me like that.
Yeah.
So, it was fun. Last question. What were you going to say? Because I'm not leaving. I'm having fun.
I mean, you may have put on a few pounds, but at least you still got your hair. Bruce Willis, on the other hand,
it went.
He's wearing it well, though. He's doing the Mr. Clean thing. Going back to Die Hard, before we leave Die Hard.
What was your favorite memory from the production?
When John McTiernan cussed me out and showed me how to act. I will not ever forget that, you guys. He let me have it. I was like, wow. However, I'm so grateful, though. That is the memory. Bruce and I, we have fun. That shit right there, though, that tops it. That right there.
I truly believe that lets you know whether at that very moment, you know whether you have it or you don't, and whether you can make it in this business. And clearly you did. Now, there's been this great debate of all time, and hopefully you can sell this for us, because one of your lines is, hey, if this is their idea of Christmas, I gotta be there for New Year's. So what I gotta ask you is, I didn't say have to, I gotta be there for New Year's. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie to Argyle?
This is what it is, you guys. It's a Christmas cult classic. That's
Very
it.
well spoken. You went to law school, didn't you?
I see people on social media arguing. They're like fighting.
Yeah.
They're like, it's a Christmas movie. No, it's not. Fuck you. It's a Christmas movie because da 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 da. And then somehow somebody got to me that I know. And all this stuff was going, all these messages. No, it's not. You don't know what you're talking about because of the period, da 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 da. It's a Christmas movie. Well, not necessarily because. And then finally, I saw all these things. And then finally, I came in and I posted and I said, with all due respect, Die Hard is a Christmas cult classic.
Best way to put it.
Setting the record straight.
Setting the record straight.
If anybody can, it's you.
But setting the record straight, but also making everybody say, see, I was right. They're both sides now saying, see, I was right.
Someone came up to me and said, no, it's not. I'd say, I fucking co-starred in the movie. Get the fuck out of
right. Your bitch beat you.
Yeah.